Hi, everybody. This is 1,595 days, and I am having some problems with my streaming, so I hope that I have fit. Yep, I'm on now. Okay. And I am having some problems. Yep. Okay, so we're at 1,000. I got Rob's hat on. um, so we're at 1,595 days since Richard vanished, was forcibly taken from his barracks, and was, we believe, led to the arms room. And we believe that, it's been confirmed. It's been officially declared that Richard was murdered on Fort Bliss. And then we know that we have confirmed that he was whistleblowing about the weapons trafficking connected to his unit, Delta Battery 143. And that connection is then with the Walmart mass shooting case. And that is through Bliss Avenue. The same individuals that are connected to Richard's unit are those that targeted us, targeted the investigation, targeted um, certain situations that have to do with our case in Mexico, targeted our whistleblower, um, and, is absolutely part of Bliss Avenue, is absolutely connected to Leilani Hart, absolutely common denominator of the Mormons in that area. And you know, and now we're receiving information that Jay Pollin's family is from Bliss Avenue. So Jay Pollin's family is from Bliss Avenue. Jay Pollin's family is Bliss Avenue. Jay Pollin was Richard's former first sergeant before the failure of a first sergeant, Michael Ruggiero, who absolutely was receiving leaks from CID in order to harass us. It's harass the Gold Star family, really? That wants answers, that wants their son's remains, that's who you're going to harass, that's who you're going to intimidate. The only reason why you would be so unhinged and so despicable is if you were in neck deep, eyeball deep into trafficking, right there at the border, weapons trafficking, and every other kind of criminal trafficking at the border, along with, like the likes of Nadal Bayim, um, that were, because you have to have all the businesses in order to sell the equipment and the weapons that you steal. And don't forget, they just arrested a Chinese man in California for having tactical move storage units of weapons and ammunition and military equipment from Texas, so that they were shipping to North Korea, at the same day that South Korean's President Yoon is declaring martial law for 6 hours. Um, yeah, this, it seems, because even like with the attempts on Trump, we just saw these connections, looked them up, and we're like, oh, wow. Richard's case is so big. It's the Iran-Contra scandal pales in comparison to Richard's case, okay? And I'll say that again. The Iran-Contra scandal pales in comparison to Richard's case. And, you know, and the reason why I'm wearing the hat is because we need to be patriotic. And we're getting our intelligence is giving us information that we have individuals that are very powerful in the El Paso um, business and political world that may lose their American citizenship because they are committing, it looks like seems like they're committing treason. Okay. And does that play into Richard's case? Absolutely 100%. Because, like I told you, the Iran Contra scandal pales into compared to Richard's case. And so, of course, those that we're getting information in on right now that are seemingly committing treason, seemingly putting everything at risk as far as their American citizenship goes, because these individuals get so many benefits from America, so much money in order to build this and build that and get this and get that and control this and control that investments. And yeah, so yeah, they're at great risk of being called treasonous and losing their American citizenship. And why are they doing it? They're doing it to help make Trump lose. Well, okay, let me say this. Why are they doing it? To sabotage Trump, to sabotage the Trump administration, to sabotage the will of the American people, to sabotage the U.S. Constitution. That's why they're treasonous. And this election, absolutely with no help from mainstream media, Donald Trump, the 45th president of the United States, has now become the 47th president of the United States because he was duly elected in a landslide by the American people. In a landslide. And that was with no help at all. Matter of fact, an attempt to sabotage him in every which way by the mainstream media and by lawfare, right? The Department of Justice trying to keep him in a court or whatever, absolutely he won by a landslide, which means he has a mandate by the American people. And whether we understand or not his policies, what he wants to do, he is the duly elected president of the United States. And we are obliged as American citizens to respect the democratic process as a republic, because we're a republic and we have a democratic process within our republic. And he won overwhelmingly everything. That's why it's a landslide with the Electoral College, with the masses. He won it all. And so in our system, that means that he has the absolute mandate to set forth his policies. And those Americans that cozy up, align themselves, work for foreign entities and foreign governments to sabotage President Trump's administration and his policies moving forward are committing treason. Are committing treason. And isn't it something that this criminal group are willing to commit treason? Yes, they fraud, waste, and abuse. Um, in order to clean that up, they have to clean up Leilani Hart. Okay, they're going to have to clean up Leilani Hart because Leilani Hart has, put it all down in an affidavit and notarization about her family. She's also confessed, and we haven't released this yet, but she's confessed, even on audio, that Tavita Nuusa's family was engaged in all kinds of criminal activity. So here he is, a CID agent, and his brother is mortuary affairs in the military, an officer, and Leilani Hart is confessing that that family is totally engaged in criminal activity. Multiple types of criminal activity and serious capital punishment type of criminal activity that needs to be investigated. And so, in order to clean up Leilani Hart, or to clean up El Paso, you have to arrest Leilani Hart and this criminal group because, they are a trafficking group. And because it has been allowed to continue by the likes of Representative Escobar, by the likes of so many others, and because remember, she's even part of the group. The same thing with Joe Spencer. Because the only reason why they would orchestrate such a dog and pony show to delay, misinform, make their ex parte deals and seals and all of that to delay the open checkbook, to delay, which incentivizes the whole delaying of the Walmart mass shooting case. If I just make, I get an open checkbook, so I'm going to make this go along as possible. That's incentivizing the delays, the delays, and then what needs to be investigated is not investigated. And so, a couple things running through my mind is they never intended this to have a jury, that this to go to trial. Never. So besides allowing, and this is Judge Sam Madrano in the Walmart case during these recent hearings, allowing Patrick Crusius and Joe Spencer allowing Patrick Crusius, which is his client, to be paraded in front of the media in jail clothes, in chains, looking very neglected, looking like they're starving him, and, wearing a bulletproof vest is very interesting because, yes, that does create a propaganda, a psyop on the public, making him look like a criminal, tampering with a potential jury pool, yes. But I was thinking that it was more than that. I think it was a propaganda and a messing with the mind of Patrick Crusius. To, Patrick Crusius has autism, okay? Severe autism, self-harming autism, as well as other severe mental health condition, right? He's had that since childhood, way before he was 3. He was already hitting his head on the pavement at 3. He is not right. And where is his family? His family have absolutely, he has a twin sister, has absolutely left him. Totally left him. And they have inside information, right? They have absolute inside information. But they have told, and now with the tapes of Joe Spencer getting out there that the evidence proves absolutely beyond any kind of doubt that Patrick Crusius does have autism, that Patrick Crusius um, couldn't even fathom doing anything like what they say that he did, that Patrick Crusius um, is not a racist, is not a white supremacist, who then doesn't even have the mind to really write a manifesto. Who helped him do that? That Patrick Crusius signed a document that absolutely lied. That's absolutely a fraud. Saying that net worth was 0, so that he could get an open checkbook for Joe Spencer. On the application for counsel, and who appointed Joe Spencer, right? For this open checkbook, for this cover up, continuous cover up. But, the clothing, the chains around his waist and his ankles and his wrists, and the bulletproof vest, I think that is meant to silence Patrick Crusius. Because if Patrick Crusius only knew what power he had, you know, to say, look, I want to speak. I want to speak, and I want to tell everybody what happened. But because a psyop is being pulled on him with his mental health condition, of course, this is my opinion, but I really believe it has a lot of legs. And that is that, if you're going to a mentally handicapped individual or with a mental condition like autism, and you're saying, people hate you, they want to kill you, that's why you have to wear this bulletproof vest, and you're a bad boy, you have to wear this jail costume, and you have to put on chains because nobody likes you. Nobody likes you. They all hate you. And you better just shut up, take some medication and just shut up, and you can't say anything. What does that tell him? And it's a lie. Because Team Fine Richard Halliday, for one, would like to hear his side of the story. But we also know sorry. We also know that we believe that he's been absolutely used in this group. He's part of this group and he's used in this group. Um, and they're like throwing him under the bus. I mean, it looks like they want him dead, right? It looks like they want him dead. But we absolutely know that he's not a racist. We absolutely know that he is a special needs individual. And, he should be surrounded with a medical team. But what he's surrounded with is people that are intimidating him. And you see that he's just so law abiding. And then we find out that that Jay Pollin's family is part of Bliss Avenue, and that unit was absolutely engaged, and this is while Jay Pollin was first sergeant, in trafficking. Are you telling me that the first sergeant didn't know that they're engaged in weapons trafficking and ammunition trafficking? That Michael Ruggiero didn't know that, um, and that they're not, the two of them are not plotting together to try to keep this all quiet, that they were engaged, that their unit, Delta Battery 143, was engaged in, weapons trafficking, ammunition trafficking, and that there were discrepancies in the books, and that the suspicion, from what we're getting, is that they had their civilian counterpart, which was Nadal Bayim of Western Frontier Trading. So, it's, and I'm only giving you just a little bit, for everyone to know that we have the evidence, the hard evidence. Because when this all started, 15 plus agencies were part of that's why Iran Contra pales in considerate in comparison to Richard's case. Did Iran Contra have over 15 plus agencies? I'd like to know. And of course, ATF has been part of it from the very beginning, because it has to do with weapons. It has to do with ammunition. Um, so let's talk about some good stuff. Judge Roger Rodriguez, um, we're understanding more and more every day his part in all of this. Um, in 2022, we received notice that Judge Roger Rodriguez from El Paso filed, in his official capacity as a judicial officer, a whistleblower complaint, that Leilani Hart, convicted criminal Leilani Hart, and her boyfriend, family member, CID agent Tavita Nuusa, was interfering in the investigation of Richard Halliday, tampering with files, and more. And he submitted that to multiple agencies. That was instantly leaked, immediately leaked to Leilani Hart and Tavita Nuusa. Now, that's interesting. These family problems with Nuusa are in that time period, right? These major family, and I don't even want to get into them. They're criminal. They're so criminal. And, of course, it comes from Leilani. So Leilani's confession about it also needs to be checked, so that's why I don't want to get into everything that she said. But she absolutely exposed criminal activity in Tavita Nuusa's family. And they're from Samoa, or Western Samoa. She's from Samoa. She has immigration problems, okay? She has problems on lying on federal documents. That's what she has problems on doing, in regards to her immigration. Don't, okay, you come to the country, but do not start lying on your federal documents, that is uh, taboo, right? That is taboo. So, so Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia has problems. Leilani Hart has problems. They are absolutely targeting Judge Roger Rodriguez. Look, you cannot be violating the law and then judicial officers not say anything. Why are you targeting and trying to control a judicial officer? Right? You're going to meet one that has character sooner or later. And in this case, it was Judge Roger Rodriguez. And he absolutely filed their misconduct, their criminal activity. And, that was a huge uh, revelation in this whole case because, then we found out about Dallas Hart. It was a huge step um, in this case. And, a year later, they started their orchestrated attacks on him to discredit him. And why did it take a year? Well, in order to do all of that crime, because it is absolutely criminal what they did, you have to protect yourself. You have to have a, a judge that, can control an investigation, can stop an investigation. And the person they chose was an imposter, right? It was Penny Hamilton. That's the word that we get out, that's their go-to, Penny Hamilton, and that she was an imposter. So that's a big problem for them right now because in the criminal law magistrate court in El Paso, that has full jurisdiction. And because that court has full jurisdiction, every individual that is a judge has to be an elected judge, okay, because they have full countywide jurisdiction. So that is from the Texas Constitution, Section 5, Article 5, Section 30. And, that's very, very important for everyone in El Paso to know that their election rights are being denied with these appointed individuals that are breaking the law. They have no authority to do anything. And so that's why you're seeing a lot of chaos right now in the courts because we've been reporting that. And now, now the reports that we've been putting in are about Major General Eisenhower illegally. And this is really bad in the military. Okay, the military, everything has to be accounted. That's why the audits, the trillions of dollars of failed audit money, corroborates what I'm about to tell you right now, that a general illegally ordered the full renovation of the arms room without going through the regulations, the protocol of the bids or anything like that, and with no cap on spending. And that building happens to be Richard's residence. Richard's where his unit kept their arms, where this um, weapons trafficking occurred. This is a whole crime scene. Whether it be his code red murder, whether it be the weapons trafficking, whether it be other things, this is a crime scene. And the general is illegally ordering the full renovation without going through normal protocol, without putting any kind of price cap on the cost of the renovation. Just get it done and do it illegally. and that's on audio. Um, so just really reporting that information, and then to have the information come in through our intelligence that Jay Pollin's family is from Bliss Avenue. Wow. That's a big deal because something's happening at Bliss Avenue that needs to be fully investigated. You got the Belen Rochas, you got the Leilani Harts, you got the Rosa Maria Valdez, you got the Ambrise, you've got, people that are connected to KTSM, Danae Katzen, you got all of these connections with Bliss Avenue, Valenzuela, Bliss Avenue, even De La Vega. Even De La Vega has connections with Bliss Avenue. And she's a big player. She's a very big player. So, and now you have Jay Paulin, and so you have Ambrise, which was 143, Jay Paulin 143, Danae that was married to Ambrise with 143 that targeted Richard and targeted us. You have Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia who targeted Judge Roger Rodriguez, and we're trying to understand all of the events, because when Judge Rodriguez filed his complaint, his official whistleblower complaint in his official judicial capacity, which is very important because he put his whole career on the line to do that. So he must have been believing in what he was reporting. And when he did that in January of 2022, the retaliation started in January of 2023, a year later. Why? Because Yvonne Rosales was in the DA's office. So during that year, they schemed, and we know it, it's in our open records information that we received, that they schemed to remove Yvonne Rosales. When she finally resigned in duress and in shame, it is shameful, right? It's a terrible thing. In duress and in shame, as soon as that happened in December of 2022, in January of 2023, they started. You can look at the articles. It's very interesting. A timeline's so important. Timestamps are so important, which brings me to more information that we have. There's so much information right now. But as soon as they removed Yvonne Rosales, they started retaliating against the judge. And you're retaliating against a judge. So that's why they got rid of Yvonne Rosales, because she would have been looking into it, right? They had to control that DA's office. And of course, they had to have some way to control investigations. And that was through Penny Hamilton, I believe. I believe that. And there's other things going on. But the timeline just fits. And that's when, of course, we were being really retaliated against. They absolutely felt like they had an open pathway to retaliate against us without any kind of impunity, that they could just commit these crimes against whistleblowers and against a Gold Star family, that they could do that. So that was very, very clear. And, but it didn't work. It didn't work because we're still here. And every day we're getting more and more information. And now we have President Trump coming through I think he's already kind of like acting president because um, all of these foreign leaders are meeting with him down in Mar-Lago, and I'm like, oh wow, he's already somewhat acting as president. It's amazing. So we're absolutely doing everything we can to move his administration forward, but there are people there in El Paso that don't want to do that. And of course, the Walmart mass shooting case was also an attempt to, um, you know, sabotage that area, the vote for him in that area. And whether you like him or not, that is just so criminal, y'all. If we have that kind of country, and we're just going to go down into the depths, right? That spiraling depths where we're gnashing our teeth and we have, I mean, there'd be no order, no prosperity, nothing. If we don't have any kind of discipline to abide by our own laws and our own system. And, this is what these very wealthy individuals or individuals with position um, they are absolutely committing treason by wanting to work with a foreign country in order to sabotage President Trump. It is. It really is terrible. So that's the other news is Kelly Childress, the public defender. She has a big office, and that big office has a lot of lawyers in it. And you have the criminal law magistrate court in El Paso that is absolutely criminal right now. The court isn't criminal, but it's these individuals, these imposters that, oh, I'm a judge, I was appointed. No, you can't be appointed and sit on that court. That court has too much power for appointed individuals. That court, according to the Texas Constitution, must have elected judges. So we have put that in. We have submitted that. We have outlined it. We did the work. And, and we are absolutely confident that these individuals are imposters and things are shaking up. I think we're right. We are right, and what's happening in the background is corroborating that we're right. And so now you have a public defender, Kelly Childress, who has a lot of lawyers. And sorry, I have to talk like this because I'm sure it's even worse in the background behind Kelly Childress asking, "What the hell is happening?" We have no credibility anymore. If we're in courts where the judge is not even a judge, that they're not even rightfully installed or elected to be in that position, that they have no authority at all under the law, then what the hell are we doing? That means our cases are all botched. We don't even have a job now because every case is botched. So she's in this, she's over this big public defender's office with all these lawyers, and they're going, "What the hell's going on?" And and if I work in this court, am I risking sorry. Am I risking um my license, right? Am I risking my license? That's wow. So she's under a lot of pressure. And we've seen this evolution because we've been working with her, right? We've been in communication with her. And we've seen this evolution that, here she is up to no good, really kind of being criminal in that first article. And then she's um, going to, well, exposing Bill Hicks, the usurper, right, he's an imposter. He's one of the imposters, right? He's not the rightful DA. He's a usurper. And she's not saying that. What she's saying is that he's in contempt of court when it comes to the timestamp tampering in the case with these criminal aliens coming over, the 69 of them or whatever. And, so he's in contempt of court for tampering with government records, like he did when he was trying to undo his failed installment and when he tampered with the timestamps. So he has a history, a pattern of tampering with government records. And that's what, she rightfully called out. I don't know what her intentions were, but she rightfully called out, and, issued this contempt on him. Now, this third article, she's just looking better and better, because now he's saying that, oh, yeah, we had it all along or whatever, trying to cover up for him tampering. Obviously, he did a very bad attempt of, saying that, this was all in the up and up, right? We had it all, we have it all, we have it all. But the timestamps don't lie, right? It just doesn't lie. And so now we have to wait a little while for the result. But the point is that Bill Hicks got caught again tampering with government records. He's not fit to be a lawyer. He's not fit to practice law. He is a usurper, and and there's many more things that he's done wrong in our son's case. Absolutely. Um, he is not the prosecutor. He's not qualified. He's just not qualified to be a prosecutor. His life was so messed up before this, it was just a money grab thing. And he's just not qualified. And they just put someone in there because they knew they had to get Yvonne Rosales out. And he's supported by a foreign entity which has purchased funeral homes. That's who supports him. Um, so I hope I explained that all right. It is really so Bill Hicks has two contempt charges, I guess. Or so Kelly Childress wants him in prison, and so does Joe Spencer want him in prison. They want him arrested. At least they want him arrested. So he's having a very bad week. He's having a very bad week indeed. And so he's kind of coming out trying to do a little shuffle there, trying to cover himself up. But the whole thing with what should have happened is he could have supplemented, right? We've supplemented. If you send something in and you forget it, don't tamper with the document, just supplement. Say, oh, I need to supplement this for the record. And it's more powerful anyway if you supplement. So, and then you keep your character and you are obeying the law, and you're not involved in criminal activity, because right now what Bill Hicks is doing is criminal activity. That's what two people are saying. Now, you know, is Joe Spencer also engaged in criminal activity? We think so, absolutely. Major, major criminal activity. But I'm just reporting on what's in the news, and uh, that they definitely have their their bows pointed at Bill Hicks right now. He is definitely in trouble. So we have the big news. Jay Pollin's family connected to uh, Bliss Avenue. We have Bill Hicks, another, the public defender wanting him in jail along with Joe Spencer. We have Leilani Hart that needs to be cleaned out of the system because of all the confessions and that she, confessed to major crimes that were committed by Tavita Nuusa's family. Um, we still have this whole court thing. I don't know how long it's going to take them to clean up the El Paso criminal law magistrate court and hold some elections. I mean, what's their problem? Just hold an election, right? For these judges. Something emergency because look, they've been misleading the public since 2015. And, all of this is working so that we can get Richard's remains. And I've had people ask me, why is Leilani Hart staying in El Paso? And, I don't know why. And, I can only guess that because she knows where partial remains are. And she's, a lot of times people that are involved in this kind of crime, they don't want to get too far away from the evidence. And believe she knows where partial remains are. Um, of course, the government has partial remains also. So I guess that would be my answer to that. Um, and the betrayal of the CID, the betrayal of J. Paul, and the betrayal of Michael Ruggiero, very, very big. And Richard, of course, we getting confirmation that his unit was involved in uh, the trafficking, the weapons trafficking. And yeah, we're absolutely, and then we have some big players that are really walking, if not already on it, the treason line and could lose their American citizenship, rightfully so. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Anicia, for coming on and sharing your prayers and love. And, um, all of this has so much political. Um, I don't know why they don't like make America great again, right? Why don't they like that? Make America great again. Um, it just seems like their loyalties are with others if they don't like that, right? So thank you so much. God bless you. And I will be back tomorrow. More with on Judge Rodriguez, his retaliation. We're putting that all together. And I'm just calling for the support for Richard and Judge Roger Rodriguez. I think that they absolutely, and I know my son is not around, but we're absolutely wanting his remains. And for Judge Rodriguez, this whole attacking whistleblowers, they just can't get away with that. They just can't get away with that. It's so bad. It's so bad. So thank you.